Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, captions on this video were provided by Liara. We wish the happiest of ghasts to all who celebrate. And the Hermitcraft server sure is celebrating the arrival of a slightly less grumpy balloon animal, because, as we'll see once we get into the script, they have arrived en masse.
Oh my god!
If you think this means the angry ghast is a thing of the past, just wait until you see B-Dubs' episode. The other headline news is that the game has changed. The game of tag, anyway. There are new rules now that the tag is out in the wild, and we are still going to need audience help to keep track of it, especially since invisibility potions are now part of the tag toolkit, which are legal as far as the new, more solid tag rules go. What is against the rules now is editing out the tag moment from your video, or attempting to tag someone more than 3 times in a video. No, neither of these specify what a video actually is, which is why we'll be editing out whatever we want, thank you very much.
Editing is one of those things where it's very easy to miss things. Very easy. You don't even know when people are recording half the time. So I think the best we can do is that if you do see it, gentleman's rules, you got to include it in your video.
On the upside, stream tagging is still allowed, but if the audience calls it out before the streamer does, it still counts as a successful tag. There is, however, still no counter rule against playing the game while exclusively facing a wall point blank. And with all that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Grian, who is dead set on spreading the name tag curse, even if that requires making his own one not at all visible.
Now obviously he's streaming, so his chat is now spamming the tag, because they saw it, the Eagle Eye saw it, but did he see it? I don't think he saw it, and I don't think he called it out. I think I got him.
On the upside, in between hunting for a new tagging victim and Rendog's time-lapse, Grian stumbles upon his own rogue Allay that at some point escaped the natural Lake Squid Ink farm. His other project is to flatten a mountain into a cliff and to convert it into a decorative wheat field, much like the one from before he built on a giant tree island. He now can do crop rotation, he just chooses not to.
But obviously, I don't want to just have wheat here. I start with a field of wheat, and then what I'll do is think about what building I want to put here, and then mix in all the other bits of grass, put a path in here, that kind of thing.
A different kind of harvest suddenly sprouts at Zombie Cleo's base, commonly recognised as the consequences of their own actions. Because Cleo has repossessed several diamond blocks from Cubfan135's Skulk Hills base, Cub has now spread the Skulk and Veins all across Cleo's home terrain, escalating to the degree of terraforming it into the same kind of land his own base has been consumed by. The trick here is that of course his own terrain also includes mineral outcroppings, including even more diamond blocks amongst the rest. So essentially, Cleo has pranked their way into a Cubfan-based diamond farm.
Oh my gosh! This is it! This is what I wanted, Cub. Thank you!
The real gem of the video, however, is the armor stand sculpting Cleo once again delivers for Impulse SV's Metro Mayhem, where once they already made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles diorama, they have now put statues of Shredder, Bebop and Rocksteady into the running tunnels, far too detailed for the runners to appreciate on the go.
There are so many blooming flint and steels in Shredder.
What the steel?
Just
I didn't think about that.
everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Cub is more generous to his other neighbours. For Pearlescent Moon's side of his home, he actually builds a special decontamination area, ensuring the land disease doesn't sprout in that direction, and maybe just walks around, given how heavily the containment has been breached already. Though most of this week's Cubfan video is spent discovering the many uses of a happy ghast, very much as soon as they drop on the server. One of those uses turns out to be dropping itself. Cub soon discovers that with some finagling, he can in fact use a mace to score a critical hit on a target by leaping off of a happy ghast's back, then bouncing right back up to the ghast and resaddling the animal.
Let's do it. Okay, we can float back down. Dang, that was close. That was so close.
A whole new world of trick shots await, and I'm sorry to say they will need to trick shoot some of the ghasts, now that the only person fans might recognise as the server admin has gone a little crazy and planted 6 stacks of dried ghasts into a single lake.
Our babies are growing up. I'm so proud.
Oh my god!
I'm the proudest pupper that's ever been a pupper.
Admittedly, Azumovoid also hid dried ghasts all across the central spawn area so that one would occasionally pop up from under the water to jump scare his server mates. But the grand hatching of the Ghastling Lake really deserves all the attention here, as hundreds of floating marshmallows bounce from below the surface. And then their curiosity algorithm kicks in, and the Ghastlings start following nearby entities, which, since other Ghastlings are also entities, means they just move around like a giant cloud. until all growing up into an even bigger, gianter cloud.
Can you count them, Tango? You win a prize if you can count them
Play it,
all.
Ren. Play it.
Woo! Hey, look, I gotta go on vacation for a couple of weeks. See you guys. Bye.
Thanks, X, for the mess.
This is why Falsimetry, for example, didn't have to really get her own sickly dried baby, and just picked up one of the floaty boys from the river, which is the most Falsimetry way of getting anything this season, really.
Oh my goodness, guys, I want to go. That also, I had a plan for these guys. It's majestic as heck. It's so majestic.
She does later discover the pile-up lake, brought to you by the same guy who made a storm made of withers. This comes right after her converting a shore nearby her base into a soul sand and soul soil landscape, so the new residents will feel right at home, unless the Skulk Hill over at Cleo's base gets here first.
Oh, I'm worried about this.
Gemini Tay also takes a jackhammer to her terrain, even summoning Pearlescent Moon later to prop up the changes with a seasoned terraformer opinion.
Ooh,
Up there.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
a good
trying them,
gradient.
but they kind of... I don't know if we need the pale logs and acacia, but I like the pale logs. I think with deep slate, maybe.
The more thematically solid cliffside makes the area look much more finished than it already was, and to help with that, Gem also attacks the Sniffer Pen to convert it into a full-blown ranch. The Sniffers seem cautious, but interested.
There's a nose investigating my building. Is it all up to code?
It's this commitment to the creature comfort that scores her some business with Scar, who has been ordered 2 de-egged Sniffers himself, but is fine grabbing the egged ones from Gem for the time being. And of course, being a proud owner of the sassy name tag, Gem tries to chase some people down with it, until Tango Tech comes in wearing a chef's hat and serves himself up on a silver platter. Ironically, he brings Gem a custom 3D chef's hat that still has the pumpkin blur texture enabled, which would actually help avoiding to get tagged because it covers most of the screen.
Did you see the terrain I did by you? I've been working on that all week. It's been horrible.
Well, gee, it's horrible. I can't wait. Show me.
Well, the terrain's not horrible. The working on it was.
At his ocean base, XB Crafted assembles a tribute to Season 9's lush cave train carriage, busting through the wall of one of the circular pits beyond his central monument. And if you're wondering where the train went during last season, I bet you never guessed the middle of the ocean a year from now.
Because I'm kind of thinking about turning this into like a super smelter. Because I've been cooking glass in my little makeshift. Oh, I think, no, that one's still going.
For the moment, XB doesn't decorate the interior because he has plans to set it up with an automatic furnace array, and he'll sure have lots of ores to smelt after a fresh round of Abba caving.
1 minute.
It's
How
1
much
minute
are
until
records
XP
worth?
wins.
Wow, this time went so quickly.
Because with Abba Caving Inventor Vintage Beef on the server, there's always someone game for plumbing the depths of epic caves. In this case, a group of 5 is completed with Zombie Cleo, Corrales, and Rendog, although arguably the 6th member of the group is Karma. After Cleo sneaks up on Beef and tries to mess with him, they find themselves unexpectedly blown up by a creeper, which is one of the traditional ways to exit an Abba Caving session.
Didn't you make up the
all
rules
of it. You can't
of
have
the
it.
scoring system?
Yeah, but it's 13 years ago, man.
You mean you didn't write it down in a notepad?
Good at this.
Oh, Cleo's done.
No,
Cleo's get her stuff.
Cleo's.
Beef and Rendog end up taking the other traditional exit, which is a staircase to the surface, only to discover you're digging upwards into the tallest terrain in the area.
Okay, we're at 96,
What?
97,
Yeah, what's going on?
98, 99. Freaking.
We're
free, B.
All right, good.
We're free.
Rendog is lucky to be alive after a couple of close calls with both Lava and the Warden, because yes, Abba Caving has changed a lot since the old days, and this cave has all the hazards you could hope for. Although this is probably the last time they'd be able to count points for saddles, since from the point the Happy Ghast got added, they're actually craftable now. Back at his space base, Ren has been reshaping towers around the perimeter wall of his exoplanetary landscape, complete with chicken-powered searchlights, which isn't the only animal-based innovation Gigacorp is responsible for, as Ren reminds us when he adds stadium seating to his scootball field, inspired by an arena built by his patron community.
And the wonderful Crafty Red Dragon had built a scootball field for my Patreon server in their gaming district, and the moment I saw it, I instantly knew that was the design that I wanted for my own scootball field on the Hermitcraft server.
And finally there's BOO, whose contribution to the world of sport comes from having watched the French Open while he was a little under the weather.
Tennis
Tennis has made an appearance on the server already, but only in the cosmetic sense over at Corrales' resort base. Or is that technically Rendog's tennis court now? Either way, B-Dubs wants to serve up a different take on the game that feels more playable and competitive. Unfortunately, as he notes, ball physics in Minecraft are not a thing. You can't exactly curve the shot over the net. The solution? Curve the court instead. That's the kind of outside-the-box thinking you need for a game like this, even though the point is to land the ball inside the box. Wind charges are the first prototype ball, but after testing his skills against a dispenser, Etho, and his own daughter, B-Dubs comes to the conclusion they're just too fast to swing at.
Yo, and you scored! That would have been a point for you. Etho couldn't do that.
I'm better than Etho, that's the thing.
You are better than Etho.
The solution is a creature that already makes a racket. Ghast fireballs move slower, make a bigger target, and don't blow everything up as long as you're playing on a hard court. Good times with Scar as the resident mob wrangler helps B-Dubs move Andre Agassi into the service box in exchange for an IOU. But B-Dubs goes on to figure out a redstone-powered scoring system which even accounts for deuce and advantage.
That observer's facing the wrong way.
That's down.
Yep. That.
And the end result is a doubles match that looks more entertaining than real tennis. Because in real tennis, it's much less likely a player gets set on fire when they miss. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is SloyXP and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.